Well, the challenge of this show, being three separate operas, was to find a thread that tied them all together, and Nick did a great job in letting us all know that part of that was going to evolve with the chorus moving throughout the three pieces. So the chorus of Ingrate and Ombre, they're basically in this gray-black world. They haven't been treated yet. They will eventually be all ashen covered, and they come from hell, from a place of unlove and distress, and so they'll be wearing these masks. And the overall feeling of this group of characters is that we want them to really look as if they've been burdened down by their lack of love, and so that would be an expression that is going to be taking place on here. So what these look like now is just the beginning, and they'll be covered with ash and kind of dripping of emotion like this. So they'll all have masks, and then they move from the first piece through the second and the third piece, which is pretty interesting. And they will be a Greek chorus in a way that will be observing through the help of these gods. So we have another world of the gods who come down and basically say, you know, you're going to have to look at some of the things that man does to man and woman does to woman, and vice versa. But it is really a colorful world that comes down and joins the black and white world of the ungrateful ones. And Pluto then opens the gates and lets Cupid and his mother, Venus, they are going to basically transfer this group through the next story. Okay, so then we have the middle story, and then we end with this wonderful piece of Bernstein's that is Trouble in Tahiti, and you'll hear some of the beautiful music that precedes his West Side Story, but in here it's really a very American opera that talks about the grief and the love and lack of in a typical American family in mid-century. So all of this is seen through mid-century eyes. But what's really interesting is that the family will be in black and white, and so they will relate to this Greek chorus. And then there are sort of commercial breaks where there's a trio. So a trio will come, and they are like the perfect family. So the perfect family has color. The other family does not. So we're trying to use color in a way that will be a glimmer of hope, a feeling that maybe love can transcend, but in the end it is a pretty heavy-handed piece about going back to the colorlessness of when there's lack of love. So I love Trouble in Tahiti because of the relationship in this family that really centers around the wife and the mother, and her role in society and trying to be perfection to her husband, to her son, and yet the struggle she has to be herself and to figure out who it is that she needs to be. And we see a really great transition in her and how she tries to move out by escaping the world that she is in by going to the movies, which is Trouble in Tahiti. And so we see a great transition, and I don't want to give all the little secrets away, but she does transition from something that is pretty much of a prison guard uniform, and she moves into a sense of freedom, still in her black and white world of a television world of the mid-century, and she explodes into a feeling of freedom when she goes to the movies. So this represents her ideal movie star quality when she steps out of the theater and escapes what she is imprisoned. And the boy is a great added piece. He's not really written into the score, the boy, but Nick has him on stage, and he is the purist, and so he's on stage representing really some say it's really autobiographical, that it's Leonard Bernstein himself and his relationship and his family. But the young boy is sung about, as parents, about getting ready to go to a piano recital, and he wants to wear his father's tie. So that is very symbolic of him wanting to make his father proud. But his father is very busy with his own affairs and his business. So they can't seem to make this family really work to sort of address the needs that they all have. Each of them have their own needs, and they aren't being met in a real solid way. So it's just a great opera, and I think the way Nick has used the chorus to tie all the pieces together, and then our wonderful use of these masks throughout. I think there'll be a surprise for you at the end revolving around the masks, symbolic of the faces we have to put on, and the way that love or lack of affects us and our exterior being. So I'm looking forward to it.